Ebusuafo ye chiamu nyina aha eye Kontonkyi TV, Kontonkyi Radio, Kontonkyi Media. Ebra aso se Ghana ensam ahodo a ekoso no. Madaroma said ya shamobo no emunchiremu no yetenase na mede beso mu kama. Da bia me ka kire wo se wo ye Ghana ni enti nsam ahodo a ekoso wo memu no. Onso wo akwanya se utumi enya nsam no ebi etie. Na munchiremu no benya ne he giseme ene yetenase free Kontonkyi TV ha na yede amanebo no ne munchiremu ni nyina ebrewo na so ensem watwagu ewo kroimu ensem watoto dwa ewo Ghana ha ereti matenase a yede munchiremu ebremu medin ede afia enima otu adabo JB me ne berema yebu asuama ona ye me producer oye adwuma ni nyina wa kire ha ede emame madaroma ye nche ho no ye hyase na ya bo ewura nsem ni mu na ede munchiremu abremu ye hyase ede afiri oman amanwe asoye anase afisem asoye me kire interior ministry no na panyimpa woda no ene ye wrai ene nsemtwerefo edinkita ho abusuafo se ebeka yi a 2024 no ye fa nipa bi wa asrafo adwumani mu anase mpo bambo adwumani meka sa security agencies no ebi fire service ebi immigration ebi posifo ere de kaka ho se de yenyina enim na asrafo ka ho na sa security agencies no 2024 no ekwa hodo efa so recruiting nipa no ekoye nsema hodo pi muama ne bobai se omo amfa due process arasa nhye papa ye fa so efa bambofo krom ha no ya anye ne saa na enu ena ye wrai ne woni nsemtwerefo abekasa se ekwan ya efa so fa nipa bi mu mbewura bambo adwumanim no binimu ne se ntwa ye se de nyina tete ye no enenti wati bedwa ye nipa nso 7 member committee a sa bedwa yi ba betena se no ma ye hwemu ntitiriw 2024 security agencies no recruitment course so krom ha no wonum ba betena se aye hwemu na aye hunu kwaye fa so fa wo mo niema course so wo adwumani mu se de nhye no esikoye se fa ne nhye papa so wonum po qualify se fa wonum mo benya adwuma ye wo bambo adwumani mu a na kire so oni akwato so aye na adwuma enye saade a na saafo ni nyina no yahwe na de yede beye omo no yede aye omo ewo memu se ebeyi wo mafiri mu apom ba bi atena wo makọ efrise yewura Mohammed Mutaka Mubaraka wo ye interior minister no ekiremu a Ghana baby a ehu ba ko pa eye bambo eniti ye fa bambofo a ehu behia se yetena se na ye fa nhye papa mu ede wo fa training papa mu na ye hu ne sempo nipa no o qualify ni ye hwesa ne mani nyina ansana ya fenipa no eba bambo adwuma ya ye fenipa no a enya krokro da dwon bia kokwasa se ya o ye nimweni a wona fa ha ye de na kosha ade be chi no hye bambo atade potini oyesra ni oyefa ni anase immigration ni no ye nye ne saa erinti ohu ni se saa bambo hu nsam adumre bia da ne twe apie twe Ghana fo bia no a ye wi anopa anwumre na nipa bi wo mu qualify ni ade no si ebetumi atu ase ni enya bambofo a wo maridare yi a ekwan a ye fa so fanipa ewura adwumanim no eya ade ehia papa nti ohu ni se saa nipa nso yi o madwumani wi a betumi aboa mo mani ada ho ne free saa breko bia no nipa a ye fa wo mo ewo bambo adwumanim no ya hwe e de afa nhye papa eni training papa ebeboa ama o mabo adwumaden e de ama o man Ghana yentie owura Mutaka Mubarak Mohammed interior minister
government. And they expect certain things like when you are doing recruitment, what should happen? We should let it bear open. Are we going to find a neat way of marrying merit, party, and the general public? Should we stick strictly to merit and the general public, and then playing ostriches that political parties do not matter? What do we do? That's why in certain abuse committee you see that I came in with experts. I mean, if you look at all the persons, I try as much as possible to take away the possibility of excessive partisanship in it. So you pick a COP, I mean somebody who has become a commissioner of police, you pick a deputy fire, deputy prison, deputy immigration, somebody who has even chaired narcotics control before, so that they will help you, having been part of the processes over the years, to tell you that these are the things that we need to do. And then we currently have people in training. You are hearing all manner of things. Can you check those who are in training? Are they qualified? Will they go through the right procedures, they lay down rules that all of us know, so that it doesn't become a kind of witch hunting thing that I look at your face and I say, but I know you to be MPP, I can see your son there, so therefore you should get out, or I know this person is a CPP, so you should stay in. To avoid all that, you put up these 7-member professionals to use 2 weeks to go through those in training, give us recommendation, tell us what to do, even in terms of policy direction. What is it new that we can do to forestall all this kind of suspicion anytime recruitments are going on? So that's the essence, basically, for establishing this committee. And like I said, we're ready to support them to make sure that they are able to do this within 2 weeks, so that at least we'll immediately be able to start knowing what to do, instead of giving a very long period of time. So that's basically the reason for this committee. We'll assist them with whatever logistics that they may require to be able to do that. So it's for 2 weeks. The specific things is that, can you review the current individuals under training? Let's identify what is there. Are there challenges? Are there no challenges? Let us know. Be able to tell us the processes that is currently in place. Is it adequate? Is it inadequate? What is it? If it is not adequate, what is it that we need to do? The policy that we currently have under recruitment that has guided our country for long, is there the need for policy change? Let us know, because the current one, I want to believe, talks only about merit. Merit. Is it adequate? Having in mind the political parties and the role they play. You know that merit can be open to the general population.
Ebusiafo Orua Mohammed Mutaka Mubarak, your main interior minister, Amanya na efisem soafo, and out is what inchre muba efa beja committee, nipa nso awapa won be ehwemu, e de afa nipa efa omo bambo adwuman titlu 2024 recruitment no, said ye niamasi koye no, womo aye ehwemu kama na afi abokwan pa, atu omanim, na enipa efiri saa be form e wo bambo adwumanim no, womo tumi aya hwe pa afa nkofo a wo betumi asomo man Ghana. Titiru ya bamba ho nsame de hia papa e wo kremu abusuafo ye free so na ye ransom fufromu emra ene beto odwa se office of the special prosecutor me kire OSP orek isi ejeben a wono eye panyipa odano waba be ye nsam twefo nhia mu ni Ghana fo abekasa ensem ni ti awa ni bebi ekwowie nyina ne se akane omensi kasam so for finance minister onmunyafo kenufuriata wa declare wanted wa side declare fugitive na kire se wodwane a ye hu no wodwane se ye be ye hwehwemu anaso be ma ne ho kwan ama hwehwemu akoso ama emra ene no edie se de emra tie no wo pe kwan bi so adwane nto ne fa no anu di atatete ende kaka ho abusuafo ensemi ba ye enu anu amra hyebedwafo wonom tena ase ti wo di ho nkobo pa ma ye wura mu e di mu asukodo ne mu nkyiremu de amra hyebedwafo re kekan ye efa ho no ye de bra mu Ghana fo binum suguso e kire wo madwene efa ho na abusuafo enne ade achi ye o my Ghana amra hyebedwafo sanso etena ase wonom kwa asetena na wo ma setena ni mu no enkomodie yi sa to aso nam so ema panyimpa wadadom kumana no ewo Ghana mrase bedwem eye yewura afenyo marking me kire minority leader na yewura isore ne wo mrase bedwem a wo kire se oni onmonyamfo anasempo akane Ghana sikasam so afo finance minister onmonyamfo kanufuriata edi nkomo nya akwanya ene na di nkomo tetefo so bebre ne nkomodie bebre akoso wa akiri na emom de ekwowie ni nkyiremu a wode mamra hye bedwara ma Ghana fo nyina ate bi ne se yewura kanufuriata ekwa akohwe ne ho yade na brepem no obesa ba Ghana onwane ordinary bekirem ewo Ghana no oba oni special prosecutor na ye no ebedi nkita ho bie wo so omudie na wamane ho kwan aboa ama ensembisa enkomodie eni hwemu bia special prosecutor ne pese wonom ehwehwemu efa yewura aka ne finance minister ne dwuma a obedi ye e wo krom ha bia no obema ne ho kwan ama san hwemu no akoso no kire se ba bia onmonyamfo kanoforiata ejina no waye shock pa kire se ne yemu ahye no ama ne ho adwire no ono anka so yare enti oni ani gye mkura broni beka so waye traumatized fi se pempenso a ogina no atese ye declare no fugitive wanted ne ade no ade a ha adwune ye papa bra onim so no so woko no bi ode na chigigyaye ede nhye bi ahodo bi egu akwamu ani nti won de ensem wo ru afenwoma akeka kire Ghana fo nyina ne se ye ru akanoforiata obeba na afei wode ne ho ama special prosecutor no ama kwan ama nhwemu bia na adwuma bia wono mpese omo no edie bia no ayekama.
There is anything against any past government official, due process must be followed. And I'm sure all of us will have peace. My respected colleague, extend to His Excellency the President of the Republic the assurances of the minority that with this, we will also accord him every courtesy due him as President of the Republic. We would cooperate and oppose when we have to oppose. After all, our duty is to oppose you. And we can work together as a people to represent our people and for our people to learn from us and to teach us and to train us and to help us to advance this democracy. I want to conclude, Mr. Speaker, by saying that Mr. Kanoforiata, as at this morning, I had an extensive engagement with him. He's traumatized by the labeling of this adjective described to his person. But he still knows that his God is with him. He's undergoing some medical procedure. In fact, I had an early morning engagement with the Chief of Staff who confirmed that indeed Mr. Kanoforiata wrote to him and is in receipt of the letter. He was very sincere in telling me that. So within reasonable time, I'm sure he would come. I will also engage the Office of the Special Prosecutor, engage constructively, assure him and his office that if there was any miscommunication, I, as a leader of my side, is assuring him that the man will make himself available. He left the country with permission. He would come, and if there is anything that has to be investigated, he will make himself available.
Dom kumano banu dani onmunyamfo afenyo marking ena madaroma motene nkano na minority leader akasai de na kire se de oda dom dodo na no majority leader ono so ekasai e o mrahye bedwam ene na ensemi ba ye no wonim se special prosecutor erekise jeben enra okasa no o kire mu se enipa na wo mo koredi eye yerua Kanoforiata na tena ye no wo free special prosecutor atena ye ho mo nyo modwuma saa na se nipa bi ready ho ampa na se nipa bi kɔ ho ampa wo mo ye bambofo e so mo hyehye bambofo atade bi sususu no mo nhya atade ne kaka ho no no kura na se nye no kura enne mrahye bedwam yewura majority leader papai akasa na mahama yarga ensemu a okiremu no ekire se wono so ye course aye ni hwehwemu bi na hwehwemu a waye di adanse pefe se enipa bi ye bambofo free national security eko yewura Kanoforiata atena ye na yewura baako a ndindi japa ono kra nso eka ho bi abusuafo na wagiram apaachaw se yewura Kanoforiata fia nipa bi bambofo bi ready ho national security fo no entwa yie eni kwanse sososo na yade se ha twene papa wo krom ha na osere se atena e bia ni ho wo krom a etwa se emra ne se de wo so mo ye omodwuma no wo mutumi fa wo mo institution wo mo ye adwuma wo no eso anaso mo gina so e de ye me ye bi buro so a eni kwan se mra mo kwan mo ye sa adwuma no eni nti ene yewura mahama yarga agina Ghana emrahye bedwafie namso ama wakirem se nipa bi ko ho ampa wa ma hwem course o ma ye di adanse so national security for eni nti obo pachaw ebi nsi bim.
Compliance. I make this statement on the basis of the commitment of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to reset this country, which means that everybody must act in compliance with the law and the mandate of institutions. And so I have called the relevant stakeholders in the matter to find out exactly what happened. So, Speaker, it is true that the private residence of the former Minister of Finance was entered into by operatives of the military and the police led by the somebody who we believe works at the National Security Coordinator's Office. Mr. Speaker, his name is Mr. Jakwa. Mr. Speaker, we have investigated the matter, and we want to say and assure our fellow countrymen and our colleagues in this House that we have received assurances from the Office of the National Security Coordinator that it was not intended that that should happen, and that occurrence is most regrettable and unfortunate, and he wants to give this House his word and assurance that a thing like that should never happen again. Mr. Speaker, I have also spoken with the Minister of Interior, who has spoken with his IGP, and I've spoken with the Minister of Defense, and all of them give their assurance to this House that a thing like that will not happen again.
Onmunyamfo Mahama Yarga wono ene dadom dodo na no ewo Ghana mrahye bedwafie abusuafo ensem de ne ebi akoso ne bi nso asisi ewo krom ha na si declare area kanufori ata fugitive anasa wanted yi ensem enam etiem film mrahye bedwam nsem akoso fa ho ne na yamra ene pipi amanyuko ni mu position amanyuko kase ewo Ghana ha na ene MPP fonso omo akanya wo hu ye papa wo krom ha ene press conferences upon press conferences na akokoso ne ye sensem twrofo ye frɛ ti adwuma na ba papa bezie edwana ba na nana boache nana bi a wono ye national organizer ema MPP amanyuko no ene press conference a wo mo frɛ ye no okasaye na abusuafo ayade ha MPP amanyuko ni ye papa won nsem wo mo kan se nyese bia wo mu si aban no anasempo omanmu ni nyina kwan se koba se bia ehu se yewa kanofori atade ne ho aforefore dwimbiere kataahye ne proyemu a bia ono obrom na so da bi na ensu dum na bia de bu akwan a yefa so ye no ya na eha adwene pa na yewa na bi ensem no edoso ne bia okan ye bi ebi ehya ase afiri no ebi ne se o kire se otiye eni se ye declare yewa kanofori ata akanis kasem soafo wanted ya nasa fugitive esi wadwane a ye hwehwe no a ye hu no ene ade o kire se yewa kanofori ata mra okono emre kura no a kire se ono akasa ofiri ne dibre so se sikasem soafo no na ne hododo no a wodi kan a otu kwan no wo kɔ saa chief of staff ɔne ho kɔkyerɛ no de nkrata ne bibia akɔkɔkyerɛ no ɛno achi aban sesa yei a nansan mu wɔ krom ha ya wo san so de ne ho akɔkyerɛ adokotafo ɛwɔ amanone no ɛno sɛsie chief of staff a wɔ hɔ ɛno so no wɔde ne ho ɛkɔkɔkyerɛ no enti ɛno achi nkrata baabi a wɔkɔ ayarehwɛ employer sabia ho ni email address kwan ya befa so ebe reche no ne hunsam nyina odi ni nyina dan panyimfo ntiti special prosecutor kra no mra wo mo bopi no omo de sanchire muyi ne ho krata nyina atwera koma no evidences ka ho e de akọ special prosecutor atnaye asan so ma chief of staff ne mpanyimfo ahunumu etie nwanwa pa se ne special prosecutor atnaye ne beba ne rekisi ajaben kire se wonu mu hu no na ye declare ne wanted madaroma eho no se de na bi kire mu no yentie
staff Madame Frima Oseo Pare that he was traveling to the United States for a follow-up medical visit. He included his current and reliable contact information at the end of the letter. On January 22nd, 2025, Mr. Oforiatta again wrote to the new Chief of Staff, Mr. Julius Debra, to inform him that he was overseas for a medical examination. He concluded his letter with the following: please do not hesitate to reach out if there is any information you will need in the interest of the state regarding the fact that I've been or I've held some formal positions in government. Mr. Oforiatta also provided reliable email addresses for any required communication. He also attached his letter to the former Chief of Staff for Mr. Debra's reference. 2 days after he wrote this letter to the Chief of Staff, the special prosecutor sent a letter, and this was January 24th, 2025, sent a letter to Mr. Oforiatta's residence regarding a directive to appear at the office of the special prosecutor on Monday, February 10th, 2025. That was the date for him to appear, to discuss suspected corruption and corruption-related offenses. The letter also enumerated 4 matters being investigated by the OSP. Then on January 31st, Mr. Oforiatta responded to the special prosecutor's letter through his lawyer, stating that our client notified the former Chief of Staff in earlier January and more recently informed the current Chief of Staff about his trip outside the country for medical reasons. Our client is currently undergoing medical observation and test, which will lead to a decision about his treatment. After that, he will have a clearer idea of when to proceed to Ghana. Therefore, we respectfully wish to inform you that we will notify you of his arrival to the country so that you can reschedule your invitation to him for purposes stated in the heading of your reference letter. Then on 5th February 2025, the special prosecutor responded to Mr. Oforiatta's lawyer, stating that the OSP declines your request to be away from the jurisdiction indefinitely on medical grounds based solely on your statement. You are required to indicate by the close of business on Monday, February 10th, 2025, a reasonable date for your return to the jurisdiction and attendance to the OSP. If you fail to do so, the OSP will take all necessary legal steps to secure your return to the jurisdiction and your attendance to the OSP.
Nenia breaches semua enena chere se ebufu aba nenia briye pa MPP amanuko no wo mani abre pa wo chere se so mu si aban kwan so mu nyomo dwuma de ndo mo nye enso etwa senhye efa de wo se efa na bibia eye kama madam ma press conference kro yasia na nabi won kasa nwie what was so chire mu say wo hwe nkitahudie a ekoso de akọ eni de eguso koso e wo special prosecutor office eni mpo yeru akanoforiata e kan finance minister ne ntamu a na wo hwe nsam a special prosecutor office no abeye ho press conference akeka ebusuafo brofo yisu de mu odu oso ndo hu ne special prosecutor no he is being unreasonable just what dwene nsi so onwini ye etinani abre papa ne nsama wudo pi wasa kan e kan de mekan ye hu eno so yenti emra
in further testing and management including possible surgical intervention in March 2025. The hospital's letter provided reliable contact, a doctor's name, the department name, a phone number, a reliable email address. It was also stamped Mayo Clinic authentic document with a signature and a date. Nonetheless, the correspondence between the OSP and the lawyers on February 11th, 2025, 12 men, including 1 police officer, 4 military personnel, and 7 unidentified individuals in plain clothes raided Mr. Ken Oforiatta's home. Video footage of the raid reveals that 1 Richard Japa, a third accused in the famous ambulance trial case, accompanied the men into the residence of Mr. Oforiatta, all armed to the teeth. Ladies and gentlemen, the OSP is being unreasonable considering the ongoing communication between Ken Oforiatta and the OSP office concerning his health. Additionally, the treatment letter from the Mayo Clinic should demonstrate that he is indeed receiving care. My little knowledge in law reveals that if somebody is declared a fugitive, it means that person cannot be reached, cannot be traced. You don't even know where the person is. And at least you give yourself a reasonable time after a search. In any case, the OSP lacked that power to declare anybody wanted. It is only the court.
Samo eti hero na bi en ogusua ne enchiremu a NPP press conference a won mo eyeye wo mo so de wo mo side of the story de wo mo nim efa yera Oforiatta any special prosecutor atena ye no ensensem no wo gusua echiremu echire Ghana fo na abusuafo ensem kroya hu nchiremu a NPP amanyuko no ye press conference na so no na bi nkomodie ni amane bo ne Ghana fo bedi ye no Ebas nsensem bepiem na se yebeka ya Ebas ho nsem eye subuo kese a ye de bo omampanyire si a wote so yi John Dramani Mahama 2015 2016 ni mo 2014 2015 2016 de na kire se Ebas asem de obesi atene etu atese wo krom ha a ye de subuo bo omanpanyin a wote so yi John Dramani Mahama se aircraft bi okoto efra manone ko wi ase esi dwimdie nkatahye bi ne nsa forefore ni ono nko a ne nua Samuel Mahama enso nsa eforefore saade ni mu na abusuafo aban ni baaye na adanko akufu ado aban ni baaye na oti office of the special prosecutor no sa Samuel ni asamu a edikan o mo sha ase mu hwemu sa abre owura Martin ebike amidu ene sha ase emo be ye se ohun emu hwemu papa bia e kire se yeru Mahama nsa forefore bibia mo free wa ye bo owura kise agya bindin no ene oto a sa hwemu ne so na abusuafo enhwemu no ne tietie nyina ne se 2024 ni mu ena yeru kise agya bia special prosecutor ba abontene no be ye press conference a be kire mu se sa eba subo no a ye de bo mampanyin ote so John Dramani Mahama sa bra no ye mampanyin so ne nua ne nipa bi wo nsa forefore aircraft bi a wo mkoto yo madi dwirim wo mu no nhwemu ye bia kire se wo ani dwirim bia no wo fa due process she papa so ono kra boa Ghana service ka kwan yo fa so eto Airbus mfumso bia anim ni nua ne so ani dwirim na abusuafo obebo sa amane no obekire mu se ebi wo ho a nhwemu a no peso onya ne ye nti no otu kwan ko UK abrochimembu ko court ahodo ko pen nhwemu part of the investigations nhwemu a oye fa sa Airbus scandal when no man be hu se yewura Mahama ni nua Samo Mahama ni nipa binum omo ani dwirim e wo sa aircraft ne to a e friend se Airbus no na no nene yewura yi eye na na bi e kasa no woye san fato se special prosecutor kro ya Airbus hu sensemo abeye nhwemu yi e de hu amane bobaye utre mu se esa nhwemu papa na wo ye na pese odo asem masukonti no uko UK eko hu yewura mampanyi na otiso yi John Dramani Mahama ni nua Samo Mahama ene ni kodi nkita ho efa Airbus ne ho ma wunya nhwemu a na so entisane yewura kanofori ataso de aba ekoya wunya abotre tu kwa UK koya nhwemu no ada na abotre nhwemu a wunya ye ede yes a Airbus ne de no wunya sa abotre na amfa yewura kanofori ata ekane finance minister dey emfaso na se we dey wo pro kukukukukukukukukuku nipa ne so yare wo de nkrata aba wo de bibia di akire bibia ka ho still drama kasa se me ma kwa ma ne nkoma abe declare no wanted fugitive se de nipa no woni baby a wafa kra bra won so no wo de amane boni nchiremu bebre e de abrewo.
Quickly, you recall that there was also another matter the OSP was investigating. The famous Airbus, the intermediary 1, intermediary 2 to 5 issue. Mr. Kiseja being told us in August last year that he traveled all the way to UK to interview Sam Mahama, John Mahama's brother, intermediary 5. So what stopped him from doing same to the former minister? This is somebody who is saying that I'm seeking medical attention. The health facility wrote a letter to the OSP. It was signed, dated, and it was an authentic letter. So if you think that you need a person badly for your investigation, just as you travel to UK to interview Sam Mahama, what then stop you from doing same to former finance minister? What is so urgent that you cannot wait? What is so urgent that if he could have waited 2 years before he interviewed Sam Mahama in the famous Airbus issue, then why this haste? And even if you do the calculations, we are talking about just within a space of 2 weeks. So you request the presence of somebody. The person say that I'm out of the jurisdiction for medical attention. You have received letters from his lawyers. You have received letters from the hospital signed by a medical doctor. And all of these correspondence is just within 2 weeks. Then quickly you label the person as a fugitive.
Ebusiafo yewura Nana Boakye national organizer NPP amanyuku no na ote se ogusu achirem no madaroma ye kwako wie ewo NPP wo press conference ne wo ye yewura Nana Boakye ekasa ye no ensem bi so a o kan ya ehia ye papa Ghana fo madaroma wo se yemamu ehunu na ne kasa emu no o kire se Ghana mampanyin John Dramani Mahama wadada Ghana fo ai woso wa deceive Ghana fo pa na de enti a wo kan ene se emra ye to abama no nsema hodo o kan ye nyina kire Ghana fo so oba be ye ne wo ba ye aye national security fo ene nipa bi ne ye de tata ankofo e wo krom ha ene ye be tata osesi ahwehwam osesi a na sane mana yakoso no so no waye di ni wachi mfita duku ena yakoso e wo krom ha wono wonfa ho na abusuafo ye ba beto aba no a na amanyofo no bontoa no wo hra MPP amanyoko a Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia no oda no o masema no mo kan say Ghana ehia upgrade jese ka say upgrade bibia sa ade ni kita wo na wo pagam amen monyama bem asene de ekuta no faso no aye bebre asene de ekuta no eno yeso upgrade ena na NDC amanyoko a yewra John Dramani Mahama na waye president a ono so da no no so se o reset Ghana jese Ghana no asa bubu kodwo tuka sa wo upgrade a wo pagye mama en monyama bem asen de tie na enye ti agi se ye tutu hihye ye reset ye koyechi akose sanema ahihye ne foforo enti na Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ne MPP for se upgrade ena NDC for se reset na no na yeba na bi kire se reset no a yeba Mahama sha Ghana for bontie nie se ne reset Ghana edi nkofo tata nkofo ene wona mo ba bia ne ya kire wo nema oheda nkoye e wo kroma ne ade ensuma mpanyi na so reset Ghana no onfa sa nema ne ho enti onu de wo timu bia maka kire Ghana for se de ekoso wo kroma no enu nti na MPP for e bo Ghana for amane so man no ye hia upgrade na nya reset fi sama mpanyi John Dramani Mahama wodada Ghana for wo deceive ye papa enu so kire mu e kan bi ka ho.
In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, this Mahama government has deceived Ghanaians. A candidate who campaigned to reduce the cost of living is now busily undermining people's livelihood by revoking their appointment. Candidate or President John Dramani Mahama, who promised to uphold the laws and combat corruption, instead is clearing alleged wrongdoers and turning blind eye whilst the OSP abuses the law to target his political opponent. The NDC did not promise this to Ghanaians. Based on the experience so far, the reset President Mahama promised is a deterioration of Ghana's modest gains. Ladies and gentlemen, Ghana needs an upgrade, not just a regressive reset we are experiencing only a month into President Mahama's governance. We invite Ghanaians to join the effort to hold the Mahama government to strict accountability.
NPP opposition amanyoko kase e wo krom ha wonom press conference mtrefo nhia mu amfreye se wo so side of the story wo de omo ka efa special prosecutor office wo ma be declare work for yata fugitive any wanted se wo dwane ne se ye hwehwe no ye pe no aye nhunu no wo mo de omo ka eni mu nchiremu we de enya adaje ha Kontonkyi TV Kontonkyi media Kontonkyi radio ya shamo boss e breaking something down the mouth nya abotere na ya kire mama wate ase menim se de akoso wo Ghana ha ne no onso so wanya akonya wa hunu se de titi e wo hwe ya na wo share de ma foforo na wo follow him pages ahodo on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok baby a na wo di achi saa ne ye adwuma no e wa ha abusuafo madaroma ensama ahodo pi so ekoso maka kire wo se office of the special prosecutor ababeka actually o man nyina se wo declare former finance minister otina so yansesa no ekopem afia ne ba beto aba yem se 8 months amo mamamuo 8 years na kwa awiye ene yesesa no wa wonu se finance minister kro ya MPP amanyoko na wo mu no ofiri mu no wo mu MPs eye oye kire wo mu ho kire no se yenyi no amaka etinipa oni nipa ketwa e wo krom ha tinipa saa no yesi a declare wanted a declare fugitive abusuafo e kire nsam de edoso eye bebre ntine no ensam dodo na afa ho anu anya abutire fi sempanyifo se fina abaso eni edie na sansam kro na ho no ye wo minority wo mrahye bedwamdom kuma a o muso MPP mrahye bedwafo na dom kuma o mrahye bedwam so ayo mo press conference ne no deputy minority leader ye maame Patricia Piejei maame ene kasae na madaroma ensamtwerefo nhia mu amoye no special prosecutor de ani wo me beba so de dikan bie mo keka nsama hodo bi ba ko ana ne so wom eye ewura no dompre Ebusue na anu ada e na anodompre MP honorable Koko Gina Ablekuma North Eko Kasaye enam Ablekuma North abato a yisi enya declaration na say wonya enkyere de wodi nkunimu ntino okogina ho koye se wo ye MPP ni a ukoto yonku MPP ni so ne NDC ni ku abo MPP ni no na mo NDC ni no afi osaka se wo declare attack ewo IGP so osaka se wo ma electoral commission no 1 week wo man declare results na de besi wo krom ha no abusuafo nsam wo kan de na ni enyan kan menu mienu asabe ye de abanka pa abanka wo sa abanka ba abegu yensa ye de yeko na enso papa da so ha nura wotemra se bedwam enya akukuduro kire na adwene na nkra yensa kan se NIB National Investigations Bureau wonum aton sa afre no na so ma semon no se omra omonim na no enene press conference adom kuma no eye ema deputy minority leader panyimpa be de akire ema dom kuma no ewo mra se bedwam ame Patricia Piaje akire se ekwan a aban wei enam so na wo mo etata de national security eni mpobambofo etata Ghana fo ewo krom ha no enye kra na NIB to o mato nsa na so o masemone eye owura no dompre no wo ma ni nye ho na nye papa a enye mai kwa so a wo makasa e de etia
administration of their duties. The National Intelligence Bureau, the NIB, on Monday, 10th February 2025, wasted no time in summoning the Minority Chief Whip, Honorable Frank Anodombre, for questioning over comments he made concerning the disputed Ablekuma North parliamentary elections results. His words urging MPP supporters to protect their own were swiftly deemed insightful and required interrogation at the highest level of the security apparatus. Yet, when Mustafa Bande, the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC and Deputy Director of Operations in the Presidency, openly declared on live television on Friday, 7th February 2025, that the NDC would sacrifice the minority leader, Honorable Alexander Afenyo-Markin, the NIB found no cause for alarm and did not summon him. If the NIB is truly committed to upholding law and order, it must explain why the minority chief was swiftly summoned for interrogation over his comments, while the Deputy Director of Operations at the Presidency, who openly threatened the minority leader's life, was allowed to walk free without consequences. This double standard raises serious concerns about the selective application of justice and the use of state institutions to police certain political figures while others are allowed to act with
ye mame Patricia Piaje edom kuma no ba no dani panyimpa be de akire deputy minority leader na hu so ne MPs no wonom ejina ho mani abra ne microphone so sisi wo manim na ni bra abri nyina ne se yewura no dompre NIB sermons no anasempo ekwan ya ompeso omde ne fa so no enye papa kra twaye enti enye wo mo de eno so eho nsam eno no abusuafo na oba office of the special prosecutor ene yewura kenuforiata ensensam no a ye mama Patricia Piaje ni minority no e kire se eniema ekoso no enye papa enipa yi kwo wode ne hihye nyina agya wosi wuhia no wama ne lawyer atwero wo so yare wo amunna di nkita wo bebrebe wo hwe ma nipa ne kra kɔ wie ya afa de ese ye declare ne wanted na fugitive ni ade enti niema pi akoso ade ni mu a enye wo mo de ne enye ne saa wo krom ha na wo se de akoso no Kamia kwesi efre bibi e obrofo kasem se political persecution enu bi na ekoso yi abusuafo ye kaso obi persecute obi ananso obi ye obi persecute obi ase oni akro no wo ye nipa na yakayaka de wo ne fa ne ye mu ene atete mu ntitiri wo mo etaye o saa no asa mesuma mesumnie wonso wo som foforo entimenye tumi anase mpomikuta bibia esanse wonni mesum nti no ni di wani anase wonni me die wonni me nya adwene nti wonye nipa wonka ho bi me ye wa yakayaka de me do fa kwa bone so na we dia political persecution na kire se ye wa amanyoko ene wo bi aba ekuta tumi nti mo ne ye nya adwene mo ya amanyoko bi enti yen ye benyira amanyosam tumi a ye wo so ene amanyoko a ye wo na politically no ye dia tete mo ene ne political persecution a ye ma me Patricia Pieje kire se de na ama no mni so Ghana o ene tumi bia empanyimfo yi eye aban we nya bia no mo fa so ede tietie nipa fa ahodie so firi se kwan a wo mo ede onmonyamfo kanufuriata kane finance minister mu onye nipa ketwa a kire se ni hu nipa mu abedi president ya ye hwenu a ye hunu sesai e wokrom ha wote ase a enye yedom kuma ne nsem ebini.
Tuesday, February 11th, 2025, armed military personnel, police officers, and plainclothes security operatives, without any warrant or justification, stormed the private residence of former Finance Minister Mr. Ken Oforiatta in what can only be described as a state-sanctioned act of lawlessness. Similarly, on Monday, 3rd February 2025, the residence of Lord Comey, former Director of Operations at the Jubilee House, was raided with his vehicle unlawfully seized. Former Minister of Defense Honorable Dominic Nitiwo was also targeted as security operatives chased him down and forcibly took possession of his vehicle while it was at a workshop. We will not remain silent while political persecution takes root in Ghana. This country belongs to all of us, and no administration has the right to weaponize state institutions against its political opponents. We demand an immediate, transparent, and independent investigation into these politically motivated.
Abusuafo edom kuba no samtrofo nhyiamu a wonom efreye na e ma me Patricia Pieje ekasaye e na ohun se MPP mrasebedwafo no enso eginagina ne nchen na ene ensema hodo akokoso e wo my Ghana ha no ebi eno no mpanyimfo so ba no ankwa abeji wani so madaroma bibia tofom e wo kroimu a ye ba betena se na afi ye de munchiremu no abafom ama watiase nidi ede efia anima otu adabo eje bi me producer berema yebua esua ma me bema yeda mu nyina ase yakram.